There is no better way to start a summer hike up a mountain than sticking your hat in a lake to make it cold. Right. Hello everybody, and welcome back to sunny North Wales, and a video which is all about habits, bad photography habits, and they're all mine, all things I need to improve on, starting with these lens caps. Now, lens caps are fantastic. They stop your front elements from getting scratched, except for when you lose them, which I do all the time. So not so much in summer, but in winter particularly, when I'm wearing a waterproof, an insulated layer, a gilet maybe, a hoodie, what else has got pockets? Trousers, waterproof trousers. Basically, there are about 52 pockets that one of these could sit in. And when I come to change my lens, I don't know which of those 52 pockets this is in. And that ultimately means that I just end up throwing my camera without a lens cap into my bag. And if I've been to the beach recently, that sheep's not happy. If I've been to the beach recently, I'll end up with a scratched front element. Not good. I need to get out of that habit. Basically, I need a dedicated pocket that I always stick these in. Or I could just leave it in my bag where the camera was before I got it out, or the lens was. That's probably better, to be honest. It's not a difficult thing for me to change, but yeah, years and years I've lost these. I can't even see the sheep. That up there, folks, is where we're heading, Shabod. Although not that bit of it. That's sort of the other side of the summit. It's just the only bit that you can see, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, point number 2 on this list is trying to get to places without a preconceived idea of the kinds of things that you want to shoot. Even if you've seen sort of brochures or blog posts or other people's photos of that place or from that place. Trying to get there with a completely blank mind as to what's possible. And I've found that's the only way to come away from a place with an SD card full of photos that you might be quite proud of, because it doesn't feel like other people's work that you're just copying. So I have to work quite hard at making sure I do that, and I'd like for that to become kind of second nature, that I can blank out all the stuff I've seen previously from a place that I haven't been to yet, and by the time I get there, I just don't have any preconceived ideas of the kinds of photos I want. Also, I only came out today because the forecast said there was going to be quite a stiff breeze, and it hasn't materialised, which means that I'm getting eaten alive by the midges. I wouldn't have come out if I knew it was going to be this still. Hey ho. Right, bad habit number 3 that I'd like to get rid of as the wind picks up and as I become less and less sure that I'm going to get to the summit in time for sunset is shooting for cropping. By which I mean, if I'm here in this scene and I decide that I want to get a photo at 35mm, let's just do that for the sake of argument. Yeah, there we go. Then what I should actually be doing is shooting at 31, 32, or 33mm. Now, lots of photographers like to get absolutely everything right in camera. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not really that kind of photographer. I love to edit. However, there's one element of my photography that I don't really help myself with when it comes to editing, and that is that I don't shoot for cropping. I don't typically shoot a scene like this at 32mm. I shoot it at 35mm. I try and get it right in camera, and that means that I don't have as much wiggle room when it comes to playing around with things like aspect ratios when I get back to my computer. And I'd make things a lot easier for myself if I did just shoot a few millimeters wider than what I think is right. And it doesn't really cost you a whole lot of detail in terms of resolution, but gives you loads more options when it comes to editing afterwards. Or just using your image for different things. Like you might decide on a square crop for Instagram, you might be printing, that kind of thing. Just gives you loads more options. Oh! I've got some. Oh, thank God for that. By the way, if you're new to this channel, it's 99% moaning about midges in the summer months. Welcome. I reckon I've got more photos involving sheep than not in the past year. I want to do a book of sheep. Well, I got my wish. The wind has picked up and it now feels like December. And there's no light. You win some, you lose some. Anyway, the next bad habit that I'm looking to break is staying in places way too long, particularly at like golden hour and blue hour. Normally, I'll stay here, somewhere like this, if the light was good, and I'd take a photo and I'd go, I think I've got the photo, but I'm gonna stay here and take another 250 versions of it over the next hour just to make sure I've got it. And actually what I could do is take maybe one more version of it and then move on to try and get other photos. And I don't do that enough. I basically just get scared. If I see something right in front of my eyes, I think, have I got the best version of it? And I'll just take loads and loads and loads more photos, where actually the first one was probably great and I could have gone off and got 10 more different photos. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be trying to do in future. Wish me luck. All right, I'm going to head down, I think. I'm nowhere near the summit, but conditions have just gone a bit naff. And it is going to go dark soon. There's no wind down here at all. Feels like summer again. Unbelievable. Next bad habit is for situations like this, whereby I'm shooting at higher ISOs. I then get up the next morning, start shooting again, and I still shoot at those higher ISOs all day because I haven't checked what ISO I left my camera at the night before. Did that on a commercial job once. Did that on a commercial job once. Shot an entire day's stuff at ISO 1600, which doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world, does it? But it was a micro 4/3 camera. So, didn't go great. Still, the client didn't seem to mind, amazingly. Chill out. So yeah, got away with that one, but it could have been an awful lot worse if the client had minded. Really quite noisy photos. Now, a lot of the time for me, it's not really a problem because I shoot with custom profiles. Basically what that means is that every time I turn the camera on, my settings are exactly as I want them, and I don't have to worry about things like changing my ISO when I'm shooting in different conditions to the last time I was shooting. But sometimes I don't use those for various reasons, and when I don't, it's important that I pay attention to the ISO that I left my camera at. Very bad habit, and nearly, sometimes, a very costly habit. Bad habit number, can't remember, but it doesn't matter, this is the last one. I have an aversion to doing very small tasks. As I was talking about the other week when I was up Snowdon, I called it micro-lazy, and yeah, I think that's quite a good name for it. Basically, it's things like not wanting to change your lens because you can't be bothered, even though you think you should. It's things like not taking the drone up, even though you think that'd be a good photo. Or things like just not taking a photo when you think it's a good photo because you're micro-lazy. And yeah, not backing up every single time you go out with your camera is another one of mine. So for example, I went out last night to take photos. I'm going out again tonight to take photos, and my head says to me, you don't really need to do a backup today, you can just do it tomorrow and you can get both nights in one. The thing is, even though I record all my pictures to 2 card slots, if my camera falls off a cliff, and it doesn't matter how many SD cards I've got pictures recorded to, if they're on the camera that's just fallen down the cliff. So yeah, not doing an import every single time I go out with my camera is one of the things that I try and fight, because that's my natural micro-lazy state, really. Anyway, there's some of my bad photography habits. What are yours? I'd be very interested to hear, because it might make me feel better if other people tell me that they've got bad habits too. Anyway, a big thank you for watching, and I'll be back next week. Still no baby, but we're getting very close to the due date now, so we'll see. Also, a big thank you to this week's video sponsor, Skillshare. If you don't know what Skillshare is, basically it's an online learning platform with thousands of classes across all kinds of different creative pursuits. I'm currently taking a class in creative writing, which is pretty useful because I'm putting the new book together at the moment, so it's getting the juices flowing, really enjoying it. But as I say, there are classes in all kinds of different creative pursuits, including photography. So if you'd like to check it out yourself, the first 1,000 subscribers to click the link in my description will get access to a 1-month free trial. And I'd highly recommend doing so if you're interested in learning about, yeah, basically anything creative. But yeah, thank you for watching, and do let me know what your bad habits are, because I really would like to know. And like and subscribe and all that other stuff if you're so inclined. See you next time.